Hi everyone,
Hello, welcome back.
Supreme
Nice.
Being.
Supreme Being.
Nice to see you again.
How do you feel today?
First, we're gonna start with some news. Very quickly, we decided to move forward our upcoming workshop for the 3rd of December, was it?
Yes, from 26th of November to 3rd of December.
Yeah.
So that you have the possibility to join as well.
Yeah, because we were not posting for a long time and not many people actually heard about it, but we're gonna speak about exciting things of what is upcoming for Twin Flames in 2024, and we generally will be answering questions and stuff like this.
Yes.
But today we would like to speak about what is for the now, at the moment, why it's quite difficult, the energies and everything, not just for Twin Flames, but for everybody, I feel. There's a big reason
Yes.
behind.
We were chit-chatting about this just before the video.
Yes, and we would like to share our downloads with you regarding this. So first of all, we're gonna start with the yin-yang energies throughout the year. We are mostly gonna speak focus on the northern hemisphere, as most of us we live on the northern hemisphere, even though we are aware that there's people living on the southern and their things are pretty much like the other way around, and it all has to do with the seasons and the sunlight we are receiving, or the moonlight.
Plus the people in the southern hemisphere, even if they don't like experience frost or anything, for them just raining like every day is already winter. They feel it as cold and sad weather.
Right. So it's quite logical that when we are entering the autumn and the winter seasons, we all know that the day shortens and we start to have very little amount of time for sunlight, for daylight generally. And this on its own speaks that we are entering deeper in energies.
Yeah, it's constantly rotating around the world. The yin and the yang energy gets predominant, the one, and then comes another season, becomes the other one predominant, and it affects us as well. It's not just the astrology of the planets, but also the yin yang that the Chinese started with all this.
Exactly, how it moves throughout the year. Stay with us until the end of the video, because we're going to give you a great hint how to deal with all this. So the yin energy is actually the feminine energy, and that's to focus on the love, affection, but also practices like meditation, going inwards towards ourselves. That's also healing. So it's a great time for healing, but also that brings up deep emotional movement that comes up to the surface, and this can make it quite challenging sometimes. It can even bring to depression and other states like this.
Technically, the more present you are with the material things and the physical world and also the physical body, the more you are further away from spirituality. And because winter is less sunlight in general, it gives more darkness and we see less. So because we see less on the outside, we start to see more on the inside. We never stop seeing, we just transfer the perception of what we see.
So. Exactly. So a bigger focus goes towards the inside. So if we actually transform this and try to use this time for healing, for inner work, meditation and stuff like this, it will be much better time spent, because the energies themselves right now are good exactly for this. But the challenges come because that's also the energy that is more it brings us more on the mind. That's why it's also related with finances. And because the more we go to the higher chakras, the more we tap into the mind, right? So entering into the spiritual world, into the awakening on its own, inevitably makes us step into our mind further and deeper. So this is a natural process, and that's where things like spiritual ego and being more on the mind and analyzing things comes hand in hand with the spirituality. That's a stage, almost like it's not it's inevitable to go through this stage. It's a part of the whole process, and it's okay.
So what Petya is saying, that with the yin energy coming, which is the winter and the darkness and more water, more snow, and wherever you live, you're going to have either more water or more snow, but basically they're the same, and more cold. This becomes very difficult sometimes for twin flames, because now I understand there's one thing that happens, because twin flames, they're fire, and fire is slightly, I mean, it is yang, the energy of fire, the explosions, the bursts, all of this, because when we are sleeping and we don't really have that many issues in the twin flame journey itself. Some people might have, because they're not together with their counterpart, and in the dream they're probably fighting with entities or something just to get to the twin flame or something like that. So it is possible, but perhaps with the people that are already together, maybe it's not like a big deal. But what I was trying to say is that the winter becomes more difficult in certain areas on the twin flame journey, simply because it's more yin energy, and anything that is more of something and less of another, it already starts to create some disbalance. It's not like not natural. It is natural, and we are the ones supposed to balance ourselves. And I was talking to Petya, and she was talking to me about how in the summer it's totally different. We are more like extroverts. We expel our energy outside, and it doesn't feel that it is a burden, neither for an individual, neither for the twin flame journey, as much as the winter. Of course, it is a burden constantly. There's always challenges, but it's not as heavy. Yes, there's a lot of projects to do. It's overwhelming, the spring and the summer and stuff. But if you see clearly, what you remember the most is the fun that you got. As in the winter, you're gonna remember more like the pains that you went through,
Yes.
because you're closed, and there's less like experiences to go outside and trips. I mean, you can be tripping during the winter, but it depends where you live. It can be actually a little bit difficult to do that. So all of this comes into account, and so you become more extrovert in the summer, more introvert in the winter, and as the sunlight goes away further, and for the tropicals, the people just have clouds constantly and it's constantly raining, you start to become more spiritual, whether you want to or not, and whatever you didn't work out during the warm days, it's going to reflect in the winter days. I feel it like this as well.
Yes. Whatever mistakes we have done during the summer days will come to the surface now in the winter days. Because what do we want to do in the summer? We want to go vacations, partying, seeing people, meeting friends, all kind of such activities. As in the winter, we are like we just want something cozy to be somewhere warm and nice, and maybe read a book or whatever, something similar. Even with food, we feel to eat more food in the winter.
Yeah.
As in the summer, we can just go without almost eating anything all day long. The energy itself is feeding us on its own. So the yin energy that we are entering deeper and deeper in it now, we are actually gonna reach the shortest day around Christmas, I think it is. So this is actually the reason as well why Christmas we celebrate around that time of the year, the sun pretty much is in the same location for 3 days, and
I was just gonna say this.
yes, and this is actually what is meant, in the Bible, about the 3 days when Jesus was, Jesus died and he stayed.
Yes.
Until he reincarnated
Technically,
for 3 days.
It's either 2.5 days or 3.5, something like half. There's a half there.
Yes.
But it's nevertheless very close to 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the time where it's just he died supposedly, and then he comes back after this time, 2.5 days or 3 days, and then it starts shaking everything. There's like earthquakes or whatever. There's all kinds of things.
And because it's the new beginning,
yes,
like the day starts to grow again.
And the other thing is that as the yin energy becomes predominant and the sunlight becomes less predominant as well, we feel like our flame, our sun deep inside of us, because we all have like a small sun inside where our energy comes from, the solar plexus, it gets taken away. It's almost like this. And then during these 3 days around Christmas, where the sun doesn't really increase or decrease, just stays the same, I feel like it's a neutral time, and it's like we can finally breathe without any transformation. We can just float. It's like nice, the energy. And then the sun starts to increase, which brings happiness, brings the sun back, but it's again the same, just the other way around. It brings us to rush, but this video is more like the sucking of energy away. Yeah.
So this time is relatively great for to inflame transformation, because going inwards, practices like meditation and observing ourselves, analyzing, trying to fix the emotional, the traumas that come to the surface, that's all related with the twin flame journey, and it's relevant to each one of us. There's no exceptions out there, because everybody has something that is not healed yet, and the Kundalini brings things in stages until we finally let go completely of specific thing, and then it starts working on something else.
Yeah.
So there is one great thing though that we can all do to make things better, to make this process go easier, and not to hurt us so much, because it hurts. Let's be honest. It's not easy. It's like a detox process. And anytime we make detox, it can be quite painful at the beginning. It can bring headaches, different issues, usually depending on the detox, where we have physical issues, they will come up at certain stage of each detox, and we're gonna have great pain there until it's fixed. I don't know if you ever did physical detox, but that's how it works, and it's not easy. It's very painful. That's what scares many people, and many times they're like, oh, this thing is actually killing me. I mean, it's not killing us, it's healing us, but it's so tough.
It's not really healing, it's giving the opportunity to heal after the detox is over, because while the detox is going on, it's more like we are just scrubbing something, and the healing only will take place once the scrubbing is stopped. Yes, yes.
It's a great reset.
Eliminating programs, uninstalling garbage,
exactly,
mental blockages, because each chakra is connected to a certain part of the brain. So if we are detoxing something from us, we are uninstalling programs in our brain from our brain.
Exactly. And so what you can now all do, and that includes us, and that's a part of what we started doing lately, doing the workshops at lower price, so that more
lower
people...
price compared to the personal consultations.
Yes, and generally I think our price is super affordable. No one really charges this what we are charging.
No.
And that's all a part of the same process what we are trying to do, and that is to do something for the others, for somebody else. It doesn't need to be big. It can be something small, whatever comes from your heart. You can just do some work for your local whatever activities are, sometimes for homeless people or for to benefit someone something. We had a case like a month ago. We helped an elder lady. She lost her key and it was a big issue for her. She became very emotional.
Yeah, and we did something.
We helped her and she was so happy. She came a week after and she brought goodies for us. Yes, a present. It was so touching. Small things like this, they do matter, because we leave our imprint anywhere we go, anywhere we are. I spoke about this in the previous video, and it is very valuable. You're gonna increase the vibration, the speed of vibration of your own energy.
It's also possible for them to multiply whatever energy they already have by doing this.
Yes, exactly.
Because
in a good way.
For projectors, it is easy. You don't have to do almost anything. But for another person who cannot multiply the energy, they have to do a little bit of work. This, like, to help someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can do this. Help someone else, and then you multiply so much energy.
Yes, and for some people it's a more natural thing. It comes from inside.
That's why I was saying you don't really have to help someone. You can just speak or say a word and that's it.
Yes, that's true. So that's
maybe we are multiplying their energy.
That's really a great thing to do. Anyone of you can do it as well. And this is the symbolism behind Thanksgiving. We say thank you to each other.
Oh, so nice. I didn't see it in this way.
This is the symbolism behind Christmas. We give gifts to each other. Again, the same thing. We want to give something, to do something for the other. Okay, it became a little bit commercialized later on nowadays, but at the beginning,
nevertheless,
yes,
still...
that is the idea behind it, to do something for somebody else. So do something for somebody else.
In the places where it's not a big city, I'm pretty sure they are still down to earth doing this.
Yes, and also make sure you judge where to give, because there's places where when we give, we get the opposite effect.
Yes.
Because these are not the right places.
You can feel
with the heart.
You can feel with your heart if this person or this institution or whatever, they really will benefit from it. Not to be like they actually don't need, or it's a scam or something.
It doesn't matter.
Use your
what
gut.
It is. Yeah.
Just for you not feel robbed when you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's it. We hope to see you on the 3rd of December.
Yeah, I was just gonna say in the description below, the first link is a workshop.
See you soon, guys.
See you. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.